Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Hopefully you are well and fine, and you must be listening to the lectures on time. You need to do that. Okay, dear students, moving on. Today we are going to further move on to certain steps or phases of system development life cycle. As you might remember that in our previous lecture, we officially started our chapter number 2. We started the chapter of system or software development life cycle. We didn't start the phases or steps involved in SDLC. Rather, we talked about its introduction, its importance, its objectives, and stakeholders relevant to the system development life cycle. Today, in this lecture, we would properly start the steps or phases of system development life cycle. So, the steps or phases involved in system development life cycle are defining phase, planning phase, feasibility phase, analysis phase, requirement engineering phase, design phase, coding phase, testing phase, deployment phase, and maintenance phase. As told you earlier, in defining phase, the major problem told by the customer would be identified. The project management team would identify that actually what they would need to develop, on which lines they would work, what is basically the problem or a requirement of customer, what actually customer wants from that software development team. So they would collect the requirements from the customer. Either he wants to make them develop a new system or new software, or the customer wants them to upgrade the features of the existing software or system. So in the planning phase, the system or project management team or system development team actually basically the project manager plans that what would be required to actually carry out or in order to carry out or develop that software or system, what would be the resources. So he would plan the resources, hardware or software resources, any tangible or intangible resources. He would plan the personnel or experts which would be who would be required to work in each step or phase of system development life cycle. He would plan the cost or budget, that how much money would be required to execute each and every step or phase of the system development life cycle. He would also sort out the alternative solutions, that if one solution doesn't work, what other solutions or other alternatives could we take. So he would sort out or plan such kind of things. Then after planning, the feasibility of that proposed plan or proposed project would be checked by the system analyst. He would check the feasibility or the strengths or weaknesses of that proposed project, that either that would be proposed project would be feasible to do or not, that proposed project would be feasible from technical point of view or not, from economical point of view or not, from schedule point of view or not, from budget point of view or not, from legal point of view or not. So the system analyst would analyze the feasibility of that proposed or planned project or proposed system or software plan from 4 or 5 different angles. Afterwards, when the feasibility would get okay from the upper management, another extensive analysis would be done in which the certain observations or interviews would be conducted from the users or from the marketplace in order to know that how the system could be actually developed. So certain things would be measured in this step. Then in requirement engineering, proper requirements. Now the requirements which are required by the system, which were actually planned in the planning stage. So those requirements, either hardware, software, personnel, staff, or experts, those requirements would be made available. Functional or non-functional requirements would be made available in this step. They would be purchased and made available. While in design phase, the software architect would just prepare the layout or front end of the software system. In coding, this is the major phase of a system development life cycle. In coding phase, the software developer, software engineer, a coder, or programmer would perform coding in certain high-level language, in any of the high-level language. He would perform the coding. He would actually deal the backend. He would perform the coding for all the features, but that coding would be involved in the backend. So when the coding would be done and the software is now complete, its design and its coding is done, the software tester would test that code for bugs, for errors, either syntax errors, either logical errors, etc. When the testing process would be done completely, all the bugs would be removed. The project manager would assume that now the software is ready for installation, for deployment in customer's organization. After successful testing, the software or system would be deployed in the customer's organization. The customer who actually demanded, or actually who paid, who sponsored the software project management team or software development team to develop that software or system. So in that customer's organization, the software would be deployed. When the software would be deployed over the span of months or over the span of years, even likewise with the passage of time, certain errors, certain problems would occur in that system or software. So a proper team would be there to maintain that actually installed or deployed software. So every time some problem would occur, the customer would actually contact back to the software development team, and they would send some team in order to maintain that system or software. Now, starting the first and foremost phase of system development life cycle. So the first phase of system development life cycle is the defining phase. So as told you earlier, the defining phase is the phase which would actually define that system or software to be developed, which would actually define the problem to be identified by this software development team. So here is our defining phase. This phase involves 4 or 5 very main crunch points. It involves 4 or 5 very main points. If you grasp those points, you would be able to understand this phase. So the first phase, defining phase, actually needs that the software development team identifies the current problems. So first thing in this phase is that identify the current problems. What are the current problems? This stage of the software development life cycle means getting input from stakeholders like customers and learn the strengths and weaknesses of the current system. If the customer wants to get his already installed system upgraded or improved, if he wants to get some new features installed inside that existing system or software, so the software development team would actually conduct a meeting with the customer, and they would discuss that what does he want. He wants to get the existing system or software upgraded with new features, with enhanced features, or if he wants a brand new system or software developed from scratch, if he totally wants a new system or software. Another thing, in this stage, identification of problems would be done by arranging the meetings with the customer, and those meetings would be held between the customer and the software project management team members like system analyst and project manager and certain other team members. So they would discuss the customer requirement, that whether the customer wants to upgrade an existing system or wants a whole new system. In this first phase of the system development lifecycle, the system analyst is concerned with correctly identifying the problems. It is the responsibility of the system analyst to identify the problem, that what actually the customer wants. So he would be responsible for correctly identifying the problems, correctly identifying the opportunities and objectives. This stage is critical to the success of the rest of the project, because if the system analyst concludes or something wrong, or if he is not able to correctly identify the requirement of the customer or problem of the customer, then the whole project would get wrong, because no one wants to waste subsequent time addressing the wrong problem. So the first phase requires that the analyst looks honestly at what is occurring in a customer's mind. He should be able to actually grasp the discussion with the customer, that what actually customer wants. Another point in defining phase, that clearly define the problem, clearly define the system to be developed. Give an example, like you can say that in this phase the problem to be solved or the system to be developed should be clearly defined. The system analyst or the project management team conducts a meeting with the customer. They actually notes down all the requirements of the customer, that he wants an existing system to be upgraded or he wants a brand new system to be developed. After that, they need to clearly define those requirements. All the requirements should be documented. All the customer requirements after the meeting would be documented and approved from the customer organization, which consists of all the product requirements or the software systems requirements to be designed and developed during the development life cycle. So the documentation is very important thing, in which all projects must start with an initial idea. Usually this consists of a brief definition on what is the project all about, what is its purpose, and what the project aims to accomplish. So the documentation actually consists of all these things. Documentation consists of customers' requirements and needs, and the documentation consists of a brief definition on what is the project all about, what is the problem definition of the project, and what is the purpose of that project, and what the project aims to accomplish, what would be the final outcome of the project, and how will the success of the project be measured. So afterwards, that document would be approved from the customer, as that document actually has customer requirements written inside it. So those requirements or that document would be approved from the customer. Document gets approved from the customer, so the customer can recheck his requirements, and that document would further serve as a proof for the system development organization or software development team for further like if let's suppose tomorrow the customer says that these were not my requirements, I didn't actually negotiated these requirements. So at that time the organization would have a documented proof in their hands that yes, you actually negotiated, you told these requirements. If the customer's requirements are not documented in this initial document, it can lead to the dissatisfaction of the customer or somewhere in the team after work. So the people involved in the first phase are the customer, system analyst, project manager, coordinating the project. These all stakeholders would actually get involved in a meeting where the customer would negotiate his requirements with the system analyst and project manager. The output of this phase is an initial report or document containing a problem definition and summarizing the objectives. So we need to talk about the deliverables of this defining phase, deliverables of defining step of system development life cycle. So the deliverable, the outcome, the output of this defining phase would be a problem statement, or you can say a document which would contain a problem definition, a problem statement, and a summary of the objectives of that problem statement. So here our defining phase ends. What happened in the defining phase, that a meeting by the software development team, by the project manager, by the system analyst was conducted, and that meeting was conducted with the customer, a customer who wants to actually get a software system developed by the software development team. Now the system developer, now the system analyst or the project manager would conduct this meeting, because the purpose of this meeting would be to get to know the customer's requirements, that what customer actually wants. He wants to get his already existing system or software upgraded by that software development team, or either that customer wants to just get developed a whole new or brand new software system from scratch. So the system analyst or project manager would try to understand completely the requirements of a customer, and they would note down the requirements of a customer. Afterwards, a problem statement would be actually developed, which would clearly define that problem statement identified by the project manager and system analyst, and the deliverable or output of this phase would be that problem statement document, which would be approved by the customer. After the defining phase, and defining phase were really very easy. After the defining phase, the second step or phase involved in system or software development life cycle is planning phase. You need to understand again that, as I told you earlier, that system development or software development life cycle is a sequential life cycle in which all the activities or steps happen in a sequence, one after the another. After the defining phase, the planning phase would happen. It cannot occur like that, the project manager performs the planning phase, and after the planning phase, the defining phase happens. No, that cannot be the case. It is a sequential life cycle, so every step or phase would happen after the completion of the first step. Like defining phase has been completed. After the completion of defining phase, now the planning phase would start. So in planning phase, the project manager and the system analyst meet to answer certain questions, like what problems need to be resolved, what problem of the customer needs to be resolved, and how, what do we want. So planning is the most crucial stage of the SDLC process. It involves identifying and defining the project scope to determine a comprehensive action plan for the project. So the planning phase actually determines the project scope, and it pinpoints the issues, the solutions it would in order to resolve those issues. So this phase outlines what will happen throughout the entire life cycle, and it determines that would determine the success of the entire project. So this phase outlines that what will happen throughout the project, that what resources would be used, what personnel would be used, what would be the cost, what would be the alternative solutions, and things like that. As I talked about the personnel or experts or team members, so the team structure, time frame, means the schedule in order to complete that software, budget or cost in order to complete that software, security needed, and other fundamental factors should be accounted at this stage by the project management team. In this stage of SDLC, the team determines the cost and resources required for implementing the analyzed requirements. Alternative suggestions are made and cost is repeatedly analyzed. So this phase actually creates a plan for the other coming activities afterwards or after the planning stage. The objective of the planning stage is to conduct a preliminary analysis to propose alternative solutions, describe the costs and budgets, submit a preliminary plan with recommendations. So this is also where the organization's goals for the system are identified and defined. So the primary planning activities are that during the planning phase, the objectives of the project are determined. The scope, number one, the scope of the project is determined. That what problems of the customer would be resolved and how they would be resolved, and what things would be needed in order to carry out or in order to resolve the problem or requirement of the customer. So the objectives of the project are determined, the project scope is set, the high level system requirements are clearly defined. System requirements can include hardware requirements, software requirements, personnel means team members or experts required, tools required, infrastructure required, cost or budget required. So all these system requirements would be clearly defined in the planning phase in the project plan. So all the activities which be otherwise all the activities which would be needed to develop a system by using all these requirements would also be planned. This is also a very important concept, that okay, we are saying that all the high level system requirements are clearly defined, like system resources, hardware, software, tools, infrastructure, personnel, experts, staff required, cost and budget. Each and every system requirement would be clearly planned or defined in the project plan. But very important thing is that along with these system requirements, the activities which would be carried out by these team members in each and every step or phase would also be planned in this phase. All the activities which would be needed to develop a system or software or project would be planned in the planning phase of system development life cycle. So planning for the development would be done for the development phase, planning for testing phase would be done, planning for deployment phase would be done, planning for maintenance phase would be done. So here it means that planning for each and every phase would be done in advance in the planning stage, that which requirements would be used, would be needed in these steps or phases, which type of team members or personnel or staff members would be needed to carry out certain tasks in these phases or steps. Another important thing is that plans about the quality check would also be actually planned. Means as told you earlier, that project manager ensures the quality of activities or processes or deliverables which are actually produced or carried out in each and every step or phase of the SDLC. So project manager checks the quality of the deliverable, checks the quality of the processes, that they are going in the sequence or not, and these and the team members are putting their best efforts into those steps or phases or not, and the deliverable generated or produced as an output at the end of each and every step or phase is actually quality wise high or not. So project manager plans those quality checks beforehand in the planning phase, but checks the quality with each and every proceeding, with each and every performing step or phase afterwards. But he plans the quality checks beforehand in the planning phase. So this phase is also very simple, that the objectives and the scope of the project is determined, requirements are set, and planning for certain other phases are done beforehand, that which activities or which requirements or which things would be needed in order to carry out these phases, or in order to carry out these phases or processes, and quality check is also planned. But it has not yet been finished. It is continued. Planning phase is continued. So afterwards, after the quality check, the project manager also plans the deadlines. Deadlines are always very important when you need to perform any task in your life. Deadlines are very important because you need to perform that or execute that task within a specific time duration. So the project manager plans for the deadlines, schedules, milestones, timetables, time duration for milestones, achievement, or time duration for the project completion. So he plans all these deadlines. Number one, he plans the overall project completion time. That suppose a project would be completed in 1 year. If the customer wants a project to get completed in 1 year, the project management team or the system or software development team is bound to deliver that software after completion in 1 year, because deadline is very, very important for the customer too, because each and every customer wants their product to get done within the allotted or assigned time duration. So the first and foremost thing which in time duration which the project manager would take care, that he would take care of the overall timeline or overall deadline of the project or system or software completion. Suppose that is 1 year. The overall project needs to be completed in 1 year. Then there is another timeline, there is another deadline or schedule or timetable, or the deadline of each and every step, the deadline of completion of each and every step or each and every phase. Means the overall completion deadline of a software system project is suppose 1 year, but the completion time of each and every step would be different. Suppose there are 10 steps to be performed, 10 steps to be performed in a system development or software development life cycle, and there's 1 complete year for project completion. So one activity is taking 1 month to get completed. Another activity is taking 15 days to get completed. Defining phases, defining phase has taken like 15 days to get completed. Afterwards, the planning phase has taken 1 month to get completed. Afterwards, the feasibility stage or feasibility phase has taken 1 month to get completed. The analysis phase has taken like 15 days to get completed, and so on. So there is actually a complete deadline for the completion of whole project, of whole system or software development project, and there is a timeline of or deadline or time duration for the completion of each and every step or phase, for the completion of each and every milestone. You can say that 1 step or phase get completed, 1 milestone was achieved. Second phase or step got completed, and the 2nd milestone was achieved. Third third phase or step got completed, 3rd milestone was achieved. So milestones are like subparts of a complete goal, of one goal. So other than the deadlines, another very, very important thing of planning phase is that alternative solutions in order to get things done, in order to get the software system completed, are also actually developed. Alternative solutions are developed by the project manager. Possible solutions, other possible solutions would be identified, would be suggested, would be justified by the team members, but ultimately the power is with the project manager. So the project manager actually develops alternative solutions and possible solutions. Like he develops solution A, solution B, solution C. Why? If the solution A doesn't work, if the strategy A doesn't work, if the alternative A doesn't work, there would be a plan B, there would be an alternative B, there would be a solution B. If the solution B fails, there is a solution C. That's why multiple strategies or multiple alternatives are always suggested, and they are planned. If one solution doesn't work, the other would work. So the alternative solutions are planned in the planning stage. Likewise, risks involved in the process are analyzed, and sub-plans for softening those risks are developed. When you're doing some task, there's always risk. There's risk of life, there's risk of time, there's risk of money. These factors are always involved. Risks like I would give an example, like project manager can think like that. What if some team member leaves during the completion stage, or during the completion of some step or phase of STLC? What would happen if some team member leaves? If a qualified team member leaves? Now, who's going to fill the seat of that team member during the activities or during the completion stage of that phase or step of STLC? So that is a risk if some team member leaves during the project completion. So risks of cost, risks relevant to budget, risks relevant to human resource or staff members, and certain other risks like that. So project manager has to get prepared. He has to plan for such risks beforehand in the planning stage. And the outcome or the deliverable of this phase is the project charter, the project proposal. So after the completion of all these activities, like as told you earlier, that in planning phase, what activities actually were performed by the project manager, that he planned the objectives and scope of the project. He planned the system requirements like human resource, personnel, team members involved for each step or activity, hardware needed, software needed, off-the-shelf tools needed, infrastructure needed, budget or cost needed. So he would plan all these things in the planning phase. He would plan the activities going to be performed in each and every step or phase of the system development lifecycle, and which team member would perform which step or phase of the system development lifecycle. So all these activities would be beforehand planned in the planning phase by the project manager. He also plans the quality check. Likewise, he plans the cost or budget for each and every phase, that how much budget would be allotted for each and every for the execution or completion of each and every phase or step of the STLC. He would plan the deadlines or time durations or schedules for the project completion. He would plan the overall deadline for the completion of a project, as well as he would plan the sub deadlines or miles. He would set the deadlines for the milestones for the completion of each and every step or phase of the system development life cycle. He would also, very important, that is very important thing, that he would also plan alternative solutions for carrying out or for the completion of certain activities or steps. Alternative ABC, solution ABC, strategy ABC. If one strategy doesn't work, the other strategy would. He would also plan the risks analyzed. He would try to plan some plans in order to soften those risks. And the deliverable and the major outcome or output of planning phase would be a project charter. After performing all these activities, after planning all those things, at the end of the planning phase, the project manager would actually actually would produce a project proposal, a project charter. In that project or proposal, all these planned things would be documented and would be written. So as we said earlier, that in defining phase, the outcome was that requirement based document which actually had problem statement written on it, and that problem statement based document on which all the requirements or the problems of or the problem statement narrated by the customer, the requirements narrated or told by the customer were written. That document was the deliverable of defining phase, and that was approved by the customer and the upper management. Likewise, in planning phase, the deliverable or the output document is the project charter document, which has all plans written on it, relevant to risks, relevant to deadlines, relevant to budget or cost, relevant to resources. Everything is written on that project proposal or charter. So an estimate of resources such as personnel and costs is prepared. Now in cost and budget, what is included? An estimate of resources. Resources means system resources, software resources, human resources, each and resources like personnel. So each and every estimate of these resources is prepared along with a concept for the new product. So the project manager makes plans about which personnel or which type of human resource would be required in this, he would plan these things in this planning phase. Suppose system analyst would be required to analyze the system proposal, feasibility study, etc. A designer would be required to design the system. A programmer would be designed to perform the coding. A tester would be required to test the developed software, etc. So these type of human resource, these type of experts or staff members would be analyzed, would be required. So the project manager plans the human resource or the staff or the personnel. It would be analyzed by the project manager that the existing personnel or staff is available for performing each and every phase of the SDLC. The existing staff would be enough, or new staff would be required in order to perform certain activities or phases or steps. So the project manager plans the resources like hardware going to be used, off-the-shelf software or customized tools going to be used in the steps or phases of the SDLC. He would plan the budget or cost of the project, expenses of hardware used, expenses of the software, expenses relevant to the personnel or staff or experts required, expense or a cost of each and every phase, a cost of designing, cost of coding, the benefit margin or the profit margin. He would actually plan all these things in the planning stage. He would make plans about the quality check, who would maintain and check the quality, he plans that about the risk assessments in case of any unexpected event. Who would actually, how the risk would be managed. He would plan the risk analysis, he would plan the risk management, that how when the risk would happen, how that risk would be managed. So planning all these things helps the team to complete the project within time, budget, with quality. Planning actually supports the project, as like I'm saying that again, that planning all these things helps the team to complete the project within time, budget and quality. So making plans about the deadlines, time constraint, duration for completion of project is also very essential. For example, project manager needs to tell the customer that what would be the delivery time of his demanded software or system. So different milestones are targets. Different milestones are set as targets. Realistic timetable and schedules are developed in order to track the progress of the system or software development project. So all of the information is analyzed to see if there is an alternative solution for creating a new product. If there is no other proper solution, if there is no other viable alternative, the information is assembled into a project plan and presented to the management for approval. It also, project planning phase also details the risks involved and provides sub-plans for softening those risks. In other words, the team should determine the risks involved, with that problem statement or with all those planned resources. The team needs to determine that how they can implement the project successfully with the lowest risk in mind. So planning for the quality assurance requirements and identifications of the risks associated with the projects is also done at this stage. Now, when we were talking about the project, we were talking about the system or project planning phase. You have heard this word project charter. So what is basically a project charter? So project charter is prepared by a project manager. A project manager is an individual who is an expert in project planning, project management, and he defines and develops the project plan, and he tracks the plan to ensure all the key project milestones are completed on time, or he tracks the progress of the project milestones, that the project has got completed on time, that the project's milestones got completed on time or not. So the project milestones represent key dates for which you need a certain group of activities performed. Like I told you earlier, that each and every step or phase, we can say that actually it's the completion of each and every phase, or the completion of each and every step actually acts as a milestone. We say that one phase got completed, we say that, oh, one milestone got completed. So the project manager prepares project charter. Project scope, it is a project scope document, a written definition of the project scope, and is usually no longer than a paragraph. And the project manager develops a project plan, including that project plan, as told you earlier, includes the scope, objectives, tasks or activities to be performed in the steps or phases of SDLC, resources to be utilized like hardware, software, human resource, personnel, team members or staff, each and everything required actually in order to perform these steps or phases, and as well as the time frames or the schedules. So the project plan defines the what, when and who questions of system development. Now coming towards the project charter. Project charter is the first meaningful deliverable. Project charter is of course a deliverable of planning phase, but it is the first meaningful deliverable that can be identified as a reporting milestone. When it is not necessarily voluminous and does not generally take a significant effort to develop, it nevertheless represents agreement on the project's overall direction and approach among all project constituencies, and as such serves as a more or less formal contract for the project. Also, it can be used as a quick hit to generate positive momentum for the project. So the project's initial scope and associated schedule, budget, documents cannot be developed until the system requirements deliverables have been produced. While these system deliverables are developed, the project manager is busy identifying risk and quality standards, developing a communication plan, and defining main project parameters. While each of them is important to the project, once they are finalized, all these stuff is finalized by the project manager, it may be advantageous to package them all together in the form of a project charter and present them as a grand final deliverable for this phase, the initial project plan. So you can call a project charter as an initial project plan too. So project planning involves the preparation of a system proposal, which lists the problem definition, objectives of the problem definition has already been done in the defining phase, but it actually lists the scope and objectives in terms of references for study and constraints and expected benefits of the new system, etc. So system analyst will prepare the proposal along with a project manager, and cycle proceeds to the next stage. It depends on the management to accept it. They also reject it or request some modifications in the proposal. So initial phase, it is the initial phase of the SDLC life cycle that sets out to discover, identify and define the scope of the project, to decide the course of action and specifically address the issues that are going to be solved by the new system solution. This crucial phase sets the tone for the overall success of the project, which is why it is during this phase that thorough research is performed to determine the resources, budget, personnel, technical aspects, and much more. So the main deliverable of this step or phase of the SDLC is project charter. So dear students, here we end the lecture. In today's lecture, we officially started the steps or phases of system development life cycle. In this lecture, we particularly discussed the defining phase. We discussed all the stuff relevant to defining phase, like meetings and conducted by the system analyst, project manager, and the customer, and the identification of problem statement and the documentation of that problem statement and the approval of that problem statement by the customer. Then after the defining phase, we discussed the planning phase. Planning phase is relevant to the project manager. He plans each and everything from resources like hardware, software, personnel, team experts, to the cost or budget required for each and every step or phase. And a project manager also plans the milestones or schedules or timetables for the completion of each and every phase or step, as well as for the completion of overall project within time duration. Project manager also plans the activities and the processes going to be performed in each and every step, or activities going to be performed in each and every step or phase of the SDLC. So the final output of the planning phase or the deliverable of planning phase is the project charter. So we talked about the project charter, we talked about the project manager too. Hopefully you have got hold of these two initial phases of system development life cycle, which are defining phase and planning phase. In order to understand the next coming phases, you first need to understand these basic phases. If you do not understand these phases, you will not be able to understand the further coming phases. So kindly go through them again and again and grasp the concept. Okay then students, thank you for your patience. We are done with our today's topics, and inshallah in our next lecture we would further move on to the feasibility study stage. Till then, Allah Hafiz, stay safe and stay healthy.